Hello and welcome to an episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious. My name is Cassidy.
My name's Amanda.
And is that window closed?
No.
I hear birds chirping.
Wait, yes it is. No, I swear I closed it.
Those are the most aggressive bird chirps I've ever heard in my life. Do you hear them?
I do.
They're like, they're in a fight. They might be in a domestic situation back there.
No.
Oh no, somebody call the police.
Who do we call?
Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Oh,
I think they're trying to get on the pod, the birds.
They're like, maybe if we just have a really loud conversation, they'll overhear it and be like, these birds are interesting.
These birds need their own podcast.
These birds get it. Let me tell you. Actually, that's so funny because I was at the bar a couple weeks ago. There was these two guys and they were really drunk and they were having a conversation like kind of near me. And then I like heard them talking like louder and louder. I think because they wanted me to like be like interject into what they were talking about because it was like happy hour time. So it was like not busy. And so I could tell like they were trying to like bait me into being like, oh, the Dodgers, like whatever. I don't even remember what it was now, but it was so funny because it was like so obvious that even the bartender was looking at me like, what are they doing?
Yeah, like they were just being
and
really
then
loud.
My
and
fiance comes in and stands next to me, and all of a sudden their conversation can be a normal volume again. Imagine
they
that.
were like, ooh, pretty girl, how we talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Be loud.
Yeah, just like loudly be like, oh yeah, you seen the Barbie movie? Hook, line, and sinker.
Okay, good. Those birds stopped.
They stopped. They were like, they found out we were onto them. They got embarrassed.
I was about to turn into the Hulk.
Oh, Amanda is one inconvenience away from losing her absolute shit today.
No, it's probably going to happen at some point.
She left her car on and just walked away from it at the post office.
And then I was like, is my car on? And you were like, I'll just get back in the car.
I was like, I'll just get back in the car.
And then we come in here, all the fucking lights are just falling all over the place.
The lights were all falling over. They were like in a little bit different way than they normally are. And we have like two of our lights are like a little dimmer, so we have to kind of spread them out. They can't be like too close to each other, or else we have like it'll be like a dark spot. So I was like, oh, we should move this light because this is one of the dim ones. If it's in the corner, like it's good. And she was like, it's exactly where it always is every single time. And I was like, okay, I'm just saying we should move it out of this corner.
It's so funny. I was telling Steven the other day about like how you and I sometimes will like get into fights like mid recording, and then we have to like fix it, and then we just start up again, but we always fix it. But like sometimes it'll be like, you know, a 20-minute just interlude of us fighting. Yeah. And he was like, you would literally never know. And I was like, no, of course not.
Well, because it's usually like it's not even 20 minutes of fighting. It's 15 minutes of Amanda pretending she's not mad. And so I'll like be like trying to make jokes and stuff, and she'll be like, and I'm like, okay, this isn't good. And so I finally go, what the fuck's wrong with you? Are you going to say it or not? And then that'll usually push her over the edge. And then she'll freak out for like 5 to 7 minutes, go take a pee break, come back and be fine usually.
Wow, I am so predictable.
You really are.
Because that also is how me and my husband fight too. And then I like need to just like decompress for probably 4 to 5 minutes and just breathe. And then I come back and I go, okay. And then I'm like calm. And then we can have a normal conversation. Yeah. But that's once again, when I was telling Steven this, I was like, it's just more proof that me and Cassidy are not like, we're not just friends.
No. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because no people that are just friends would ever be able to fight the way we do and then make up.
And be fine. Yeah. Like, seriously, 15 minutes later, we fight like sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. Oh my gosh. There's been a couple. I had a pretty big freak out once on camera. But that was my only mid-recording freak out, I think. When we were recording, it was like a Valentine's Day
I know
episode.
Exactly. That was the one that popped into my head.
And I was going through it. I was going through a breakup, and I had told Amanda like, oh, I'll take all the notes of this, just watch this documentary. And we're talking about the documentary, and I kept being like, yeah, so what do you, and she goes, I don't know. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know? did you not even fucking watch? And she was like, no, I watched it. You just told me not to like write a script, so I don't know what to say. Because we were like pretty new at this still too.
No, it was like the first year
And
when
so-
I literally could barely even open my mouth and speak.
Yeah. I freaked out. And then
and then I think there was people talking in like next to the door in my apartment building complex. And Cassie was just like, oh my gosh.
Amanda's apartment, her old apartment was hell to record in. But we had to record there. Like we had no other option at first.
Yeah, until we went into your closet.
Until I set up the pod closet. But yeah, her old apartment was all tile.
So echoey.
And the computer was right next to the front door. So if there's anyone like in her front lobby talking, it was just echoing through the entire apartment.
There
all
always
the time.
was.
It was crazy.
There was always someone talking for some reason in the middle of the courtyard or a little kid running around screaming.
Yeah.
Every single time we went to record.
Yeah. It's rough times out here. People, the highs and lows of internet podcasting. I'm sweating so bad. Like I'm wet. My face is wet.
Do you want the
I think we might need to grab the ice packs.
I'll go get them.
Yeah. I think we might need them. It is rough in here. Whew. Oh, yeah. That's more like it. Whew. It was getting dire there for a second. See, I also feel like the weather, like when it's hot and humid like this and you're already in a bad mood or something like that is enough to send you over the edge.
Yeah.
And by you, I mean like anybody, like me included.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, this whole morning I was just like on one. Like I was just having a rough time.
Yeah.
And hopefully this will fix it.
That's what.
Drinking
blueberry lavender lemonade from Luxology Bottle Logic Brewing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Delish. It is quite good, actually.
I love anything blueberry lavender.
Yeah. I love lavender stuff. It's so good. Like
Me
a lavender
too.
latte or whatever.
Like lavender iced coffee. Yeah.
What I know what's crazy. Okay, so I don't drink milk, obviously, but I do have like these protein milks that I get sometimes that are like chocolate milk, and they taste just straight up like chocolate milk. And I realized I genuinely can't drink chocolate. I have to chug it.
You don't like chocolate milk?
No, I love it. I love it so much that I like can't put it down. I'm like when you give like a little kid like their first like bomb pop or something and you're like, just eat it slow down. And you're like, they're like fighting for their life to keep chugging.
Wow.
I chug those bitches. And I have to stop myself sometimes, like put the lid on it. And then like a minute later, I'm like back open, chug. They're so good.
Wow. I love chocolate milk. I know this doesn't really taste like chocolate milk, but there was something so disgustingly delicious about a Yoo-hoo.
I've actually never had a Yoo-hoo.
What?
That was like not really a thing where I'm from. I don't really know anyone that was like had Yoo-hoos at their house or whatever.
Oh my gosh, I used to drink the fuck out of a Yoo-hoo. I think I had one like not that many years ago.
No, I mean you can get them other places, but that feels very much like something you go into a bodega and get.
Yeah, like that little yellow box with the little straw. Ugh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's childhood right there.
Isn't there like no milk in them?
Yeah, I don't think they actually are milk because
someone described it to me as tasting almost tart.
No. It tasted okay, well, it didn't taste like milk or chocolate, so maybe
it was just that color. Okay, I'm gonna Google what's in a Yoo-hoo. Do we even want to know?
I do actually.
Water, high fructose corn syrup, whey, cocoa, and non-fat dry milk.
Oh, so there is dry milk.
Yeah. It's made primarily of water, though.
Okay, that makes
sense. It's
sense.
technically not a chocolate milk. It's chocolate drink.
Chocolate drink. I'm going to get some of that chocolate drink.
That chocolate drink. Yeah, see, this is what I think of when I think of Yoo-hoo. I think of these glass bottles that I would always see at the store.
The glass bottles were cool.
Yeah.
But the little yellow juice boxes were the best.
Shake it. Drink chalk. Or sorry, chocolate drink. I'm sorry.
Like, it does kind of taste like chalk.
Good sources of vitamins and minerals.
Ooh.
230 calories.
Wow. Well, how do I get my vitamins and minerals now without a Yoo-hoo?
You just got to hope they start putting them in these seltzers.
Oh my gosh. Yoo-hoo. Yoo-hoo white Russian drink.
Yoo-hoo.
Yoo-hoo.
Call us. We have an idea for
Yoo-hoo.
you. Yoo-hoo. Hit the line. Drop it on the pod.
Yoo-hoo.
What is that from?
I don't, Yahoo.
Oh, the commercial. Yeah.
Not Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, when they had like a yodeler.
Yeah.
It was like up a mountain. Man, R.I.P. I deal with somebody on like a semi-regular basis who still has a Yahoo email address.
Oh, really?
I did not know those still existed.
My Yahoo email address was ryancabreraxoo@yahoo.com.
You really were running that XOO into the ground, weren't you?
I did. I had Ryan Cabrera XOO. I had Ms. Independent, obviously. And then I had like HMM. I like you.
Canceled. You're canceled. God almighty.
I had the craziest screen names ever.
Oh, it's okay. My brother's first AIM scream name was Lover of Beyonce.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's still probably a great one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I think it was like Lover, like Luver.
Has
Lover.
to be.
Yeah.
Lover.
Oh, man. Yeah, Yahoo. Haven't thought of Yahoo in a while.
No, and you used to go on and you would get your Yahoo News, like from the homepage.
I'm sure that must still exist. I mean, somebody's on there checking their email.
I mean, honestly, I really haven't read the news since Yahoo News. So maybe I need to get back on there.
Yeah, jump on it.
AOL News.
AOL News, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you used to be able to like just pull up a site and it would be like, here's all of the big news stories from like all everywhere today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now like it's kind of hard to do that.
Well, yeah, now you have to just go on Twitter and read a bunch of fake shit.
Which, by the way, my Twitter like logged me out and I couldn't figure out how to get back in, so I just deleted the app. So now I just don't even go on Twitter.
That sucks because it's been really fun lately.
Has it?
Yeah, are you kidding me? Trump and Elon are like publicly feuding. It's like it's like fucking New Year's Eve over there right now.
Well, luckily that feud is so funny and crazy that everyone's been posting it all over every social media platform. So.
It's so ridiculous.
The girlies are fighting.
I just want to know Elon Musk's like logic on being like, just so you know, Donald Trump is in those Epstein files, and it's like,
are you?
But also, you just talked about how you helped him become president, and he's only president because of you, and you knew he was a pedophile this whole time.
Yeah,
like, brother, that's not exactly the comeback you thought it was. It's a little bit of a self-own there.
Yeah, no, it's really funny when like two evil people are fighting each other, so you're just kind of like, I don't know who to root for in this situation.
Yeah, I saw somebody be like, this is like when a girl gets dumped and she posts, it's 2 inches rock hard, by the way. And people are like, all you did was just embarrass yourself with that one.
Yeah, like why were you with that guy?
I guess you're taking him down too, but like, damn, how long were you with them again?
Yeah, so can't wait to see the outcome of this.
Can't wait. Anything could happen. Maybe a collapse of the global economy, maybe the end of democracy as we know it, or maybe just a new season of Real Housewives DC.
Yes, please.
real president, real White House of DC.
Or throw him in the ring.
Let's get him boxing.
Yeah,
let's do it. See what shakes
it's
loose.
like the Jake Paul like verse, or like Logan Paul, whoever the fuck they are, when he versed who's that?
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
How is that similar?
I don't know. Just like how
they're boxers.
Yeah,
it would be like if they're like you reference like maybe a different celebrities who didn't box that box each other.
I meant more like
people would want to watch
people
it on
would
Netflix.
Want to watch it. Like we would buy that fight, you know?
Pay-per-view it. Who's gonna win, the shitter or the pisser?
Don't make me lose my mind, Kaz. I swear to God.
Sorry. I told her before we started, I was like, maybe you should just let it out now.
I did. I screamed.
And then, because it'll be easier to recover before we start than to have to pause halfway through.
I did a scream.
Bopping around all over the place.
I'm going to fucking bop my head into the wall.
Yeah, I feel it. I'm scared, personally.
Yeah, you should be.
Should have brought her chocolate milk.
You should have brought me a cookie.
I should have brought you a cookie.
Every
I'm actually baking
time.
cookies tonight.
You bitch. every single time I'm in a bad mood and you bring me a cookie, what happens?
I usually bring her a cookie.
I'm in a good mood.
I didn't have any cookies in my house.
You did bring me alcohol though, so
I did do that.
That's just as good, I guess.
I was gonna say the only cookie that I have in my house right now is one that you made.
Oh, and we don't want that.
No, it's one of the pretty ones. I still have one left from Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay. Those ones were cute.
Yeah, because I put them in my freezer.
That's
and then
smart.
just like bring them out when I'm like ready to have a cookie, thaw it out.
I had a very unfortunate mishap the other week. I was attempting to make Wicked themed cookies. I haven't made cookies in probably like 2 months since like the Super Bowl almost.
Since the Super Bowl, yeah.
And I was starting to get pretty good. They were looking cute. And then I tried to make these Wicked cookies, and they are the ugliest fucking things you have ever seen in your entire life. And I'm in the group chat, I'm going, I'm never doing this again. I suck. These cookies are so ugly. And Kate and Cassidy are trying to like hype me up, like, you always say that, Amanda.
Okay, she does. Okay, every single time she makes cookies, she talks about how ugly they are, how bad they turned out, how she's gonna jump off a bridge because these are so awful. She's quitting cookie making forever. And then they're always like the cutest, most delicious cookies you've ever seen. You guys have seen pictures of them on, so if you follow us on social media. Unfortunately, this time she was right. They were really ugly, but they tasted good.
They were so fucking ugly.
Hey, so she made like a bunch because she was going to take them to a birthday party, and then she's like, I can't give these to a child on
I
their
couldn't
birthday.
give them to anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody could see those. I
So-
gave them to you, and what did you do to me?
I gave them out to people.
You showed people in the world these cookies.
Well, I went out to get a drink with Connie right after we recorded, so I had this bag of cookies with me.
I thought I could trust you.
And so my friends were bartending, so I gave them some cookies. For the record, Hunter, who listens sometimes, hi Hunter. Hunter literally said, "Oh, they're wicked, cool, cute."
They did not look like Wicked. They looked like a fucking thing of shit on top of a green background.
No, it just looked like an 8-year-old made it.
It's just as bad.
I should have just said, my little niece made
You should
these.
have. You absolutely should have.
My 10-year-old triplet nieces made these.
I would have preferred that. Cassie texts me, oh, I gave them out to people and they think they're so good. And I was like...
Because they tasted really good. That's the thing. Amanda's like cookie batch. They like weren't your best.
No.
But they still tasted really good.
When you texted that you were giving them to people, Man.
Do you know how happy people were? They were so excited to eat those cookies.
I almost just ran into traffic.
Yeah, you need to get over that.
I could not.
So here's the thing. She had one bad batch of cookies, and now she's like, I don't make cookies anymore. And I said, I feel like you're going to have some bad batches every once in a while when you take a creative risk.
Well, you know what?
Things are going to happen.
When people say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Well, I did try again, and then I failed again.
You only failed one time out of
and now
15.
I'm traumatized.
Well, that's too bad because you're going to have to get good because you're making cookies for my wedding.
Shit.
And for my bachelorette party.
That's going to be bad.
So good luck. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
You have no choice. Sorry about it.
I guess I better... I'm just going to pack it up right now. I'm going to get to it.
Get to it. You know what? Hang up. Hang up the phone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So this is going to be the Cassidy Comedy Hour. And I'm going to talk about things that are going to make you uncomfortable.
You always do.
Don't I always? But no, I think you need to keep trying. And remember when I was really into painting and I had like one bad painting? I didn't just quit. I was like, oh, maybe I just shouldn't try to paint people. I went back to my plant paintings. All was well.
The plant paintings are very good.
Yeah.
But I liked that woman.
Oh, my sad smoking woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was great.
And I liked your cookies. See how that works?
You know what? I don't like you speaking logically to me and making sense. Okay.
meltdown incoming.
I don't like you speaking logically to me. Okay.
I'm sorry. How about we instead
tell me something else?
We welcome some of our new patrons. How does that sound?
Please.
All right. So welcome to our new cool kids. Welcome to Leah G.
Hi, Leah.
Welcome to Tiffany B.
Hi, Tiffany.
Welcome to Magda J.
Oh, hello, Magda.
And thank you to Jess, who edited their membership to the whole year.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully I survive that long. Who knows?
Don't worry, I'll be here at least. Well, thank you guys so much. Patreon is one of the only reasons that we get to keep doing this podcast. It's genuinely like such a huge help. And we just totally dig you. Obviously, you get exclusive ad-free episodes on there. You get bonus episodes. You get early releases of other episodes. Sometimes we just throw random vlogs on there.
Yeah.
We have our Spilling the Kool-Aid series. We have our book recap series. We have a bunch of documentary recaps, which we actually have a very highly requested documentary recap episode coming out this week.
Oh, that one was gnarly.
And we highly suggest you go watch this movie before you watch or before you listen. Don't just like, some people like won't watch the documentary. They'll just listen to the recap. I really want you to go watch this and really try to absorb all the information because everybody is split. It has torn our friend groups asunder. Which I guess is the making of a good documentary.
That's true.
But yeah, so go check that out. It's streaming on Netflix, and then our episode will be coming out later this week. We have a new Things Are Getting Weird that came out this week where things were getting weird with crocodilians.
Yes, they were.
And they were getting weird, guys.
We were getting weird.
We were getting weird. They were getting weird. Things were getting weird.
Yeah.
And next week, on our Things Are Getting Weird episode, we're going to be having a very special guest in Stephen Ray Morris, formerly of My Favorite Murder and the Purrcast, and currently of See Jurassic Right, and producing a bunch of really fun podcasts for other people. But he's going to come on, and we're going to be talking about the back rooms.
Yes.
So make sure you're tuning in every Monday to our new segment, Things Are Getting Weird. And we are going to be having guests, and we have some guests lined up we're really excited about that you'll find more about like upcoming. But if you guys have other podcasts, like, you know, internet personalities, people that you think would be a good fit, go tag them in our stuff so that maybe they can see us and we can get it hooked up and they can come on the show. We love the suggestions, obviously.
Yes, please.
Yeah, totally.
Literally anybody. Comedians, reality TV stars.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Amanda wants Stassi so bad.
So bad.
But yeah, thank you guys so much. And we just totally dig you. If you do not have the funds right now to be a member of our Patreon, that's totally okay. We understand how crazy it is out there. But if you could just drop us a 5-star review wherever you listen, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or anywhere else, or maybe even if you listen on Spotify but you have Apple Podcasts, if you just happen to, you know, stumble over there and leave a 5-star review as well, you know, it wouldn't hurt us a bit.
Wow, you just talked so fast. I was like mesmerized.
Thank you.
You just have that shit on lock.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as my my commercial voice when I have to do like the warnings or whatever at the end.
No, truly, that would watching you do the little tidbit at the end of the Mint Mobile commercial was,
oh yeah, if you've heard any of those and you're like, oh, they must have sped it up. No, that was just me talking.
All in one take.
All in one take, yeah.
It was, you didn't breathe once. It was alarming and also really impressive. My mouth, I was just sitting here like with my mouth open like, whoa.
What just happened?
She's a star.
I'm a star,
ladies
everybody.
and gentlemen.
Ooh, it is warm.
Do you have any, I feel like I deserved like some sort of like fun fact or weird fact or something.
Fun fact, weird fact.
You didn't find anything out this week?
I mean, I don't know. Like, you came in with a lot of.
I did. I came in with some bad energy.
You came in hot with a little bit of a negative vibe.
Yeah. No, I did. That's fair. That's on me.
And that's okay. Sometimes it happens.
And I'll take that.
Let me look at my notes. I just write things down that I think throughout the week, and usually they don't really make a lot of sense, so they don't make it here. But here we are. I have, if you have security cameras in your house, please don't invite me over. And I also wrote down, I think keeping a head of lettuce in my house has changed my life. So really we can go either direction you want to with those.
I just really want to know like where like what exactly you were doing, thinking, feeling at the time that you decided to write those down.
Well, the head of lettuce one I wrote down because I realized if you just keep a head of lettuce in your house, you can just slowly shred it as you need it and just put it on everything.
Yes.
And lettuce is so good. It's like nature's chip. It's so good. I've been really into making like Scooby-Doo style sandwiches lately.
That's why you have the lettuce.
And I've been on my mission to recreate my favorite fast food items at home. And I've been fairly successful. And lettuce also helps with that.
Yeah, well, there is lettuce in all of like those chicken snack wrap situations.
I did like the habanero crispy chicken taco from Del Taco because they discontinued it. They only have the chipotle and the ranch now, and my favorite was the habanero, so I had to recreate it at home. And then
it looked really good.
It was so freaking good. I really nailed the flavor with like the habanero sauce and stuff, and obviously it's way fucking huger and deliciouser.
Huger. And
then I also recreated my favorite Taco Bell item, which is the beefy nacho burrito.
Delicious.
From the what's it called? Value menu.
Mm-hmm.
I get mine with no rice.
You always do. No rice.
But I duped that as well, and it was pretty dang good. And it just turns out having lettuce in your house is like a nice touch.
Do you know who has a head of lettuce in their fridge right now?
You?
Me.
See, you should be feeling happy then. That's an adult
Have
thing.
I made it?
I was like, I'm such an adult. And like lettuce is such a good filler. Like I was making like a little taco bowl and I was like, oh, I could just put a bunch of shredded lettuce in here. And then it tasted so good and it added crunch.
That's the thing. That's the fucking thing about a nice head of iceberg lettuce.
Yes.
Is like you put that shit on a sandwich or a burger and you get that crunch, that cold crunch. Ooh.
And see, I used to be a lazy bones and I would get the pre-shredded stuff and it would go bad in like 6 days.
And it also doesn't have the crunch.
It doesn't have the crunch. But if you keep it as a full head and you just kind of inch away at it, it lasts like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks in the fridge. And it's cheaper.
It's so cheap.
Changed my life.
Wow. Hard agree.
And then if you have cameras in your house, don't invite me over.
I mean, that one should feel universal to everybody.
Because people put those Ring cameras like in their house.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Like, I'm sorry, how are you gonna have me over? Sometimes I need to talk a little shit, and they will have the volume on these cameras. And this made me think of this because I saw someone post one of like their dog or their husband and their dog doing something funny in their living room, and like the sound was on. And I was like, so what if I go over to your house and I'm talking shit, I'm like venting about my husband or whatever to you, right? We're having girls' night. We get a little drunk, we're saying some stupid shit, and then your husband is pissed off at you, so he like clips that and like sends it to my husband to piss you off. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going somewhere where blackmail is inherent to the party. I'm not going somewhere where I can just be blackmailed.
I think that's totally fair.
That's crazy. And why would you want to live like that? Why would you want to live under the eye?
Also, like, don't you ever just sit on the couch and just kind of like pick your nose or whatever?
Yeah, or just like be stupid and weird.
Yeah.
What do you do? What are we doing here?
Yeah. No, I don't like that. I don't even have a pet camera because I just don't.
I agree.
I'm like, and I get why people do, but it scares me.
And here's the thing, if you have like really young children and you live in like a rural place and you have cameras that you turn on like at night, so like, you know, like if you wake up and your kid isn't in the bed, you can see like, oh, they went to the backyard or they fell asleep on the couch or whatever. I get it. But like if you just have cameras 24/7 going in your house, I'm sorry, we cannot be friends. First of all, you have a mental disorder that I don't want to tap into or be a part of. And second of all, I just can't be somewhere where I'm being blackmailed. I am not on Big Brother. I'm not trying to live like that.
And also, I started watching The Accountant 2 last night.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a whole scene where these really smart kids like hack into someone's computer while they're on the computer, and then they can like hack into the camera and see them.
Yes, that's a real thing.
That is so scary.
That's why I cover my camera when I'm at home.
I know.
Because sometimes I like to watch things in the tub.
That's so real.
You know?
Yeah. And the fact that people can just hack into your computer and then get access to your camera is so terrifying. They can probably hack into any freaking Ring camera that's in your house, you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's like the same thing. Like, I would never stay in an Airbnb that has cameras in the living room and stuff, because that's a thing now too.
Scary.
Sorry, what are we doing here? Like, no, absolutely not.
No, both of the things that you willy-nilly wrote down actually make a lot of fucking sense.
Thank you. My third thing was literally just, oh no, I can't stop chugging chocolate milk.
And we already got that one out of the
And
way.
that one I made sure I brought up quick.
You said, out of these three, which one do I need
I
to
said,
talk
ooh,
about?
I really got to talk about this chocolate milk situation because it's weighing on my heart. I feel so gluttonous. I feel sinful when I'm chugging the chocolate milk. I'm like, ooh, yeah, give it. I deserve this. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve anything. And there I am chugging it like I'm the king of England or something, chugging my chocolate milk like there's no tomorrow.
On your throne.
Oh my gosh.
On your throne of lettuce.
On my throne of lies and gluttony. See, if it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes like I don't want to be caught on camera doing that.
No, chugging your chocolate milk?
Also, like, what if I'm at a party? You've got these cameras. I don't know. I feel like you should have to post like
What
a
if
thing.
you
Also,
were
like
drunk and you fell down?
you fell down, or you pick a wedgie. You think you're backed up in a corner. You think you're in a safe space, and you pick a wedgie, and then they're watching back later, like laughing at you, and you don't even know.
And then they send it to everyone that was at the party
because it's literally a friend of a friend. It's not even like your close friend who would just send it to you.
Yeah,
and
like
laugh.
someone
It's
invited you to the party.
Yes, and like they didn't like you that much because they thought you were like a little weird.
And then they got confirmation when you were picking your wedgie.
When you were picking your wedgie, and they were like, "See, told you this girl is weird.
Don't invite her to the next barbecue.
Amanda's not allowed to invite friends anymore. That Cassidy girl was weird. She picked her wedgie at my house."
No, this all is checking out, and
yeah,
and I am here for you.
Like I just feel like you got to look inward. Like if you're someone who feels like you need to have cameras on in your house 24/7,
because
like you got to look
picking
inward.
wedgies.
I'd be picking my nose. I'd be picking wedgies.
Literally all the time.
I'd be doing embarrassing things constantly, and then looking around like, anyone see that?
And then being like, oh, good, no one saw that.
And like the part, like the sign of like a good party is when someone does something a little embarrassing and everyone just pretends it didn't happen. Right. I don't need it. I don't need it on camera.
I am with you. Yeah. If you guys have cameras in your homes, tell us how that's working out for you. We'd love to know.
I don't really care. I will not come to your home. And I think you should post a warning for anyone who does.
Yeah. Like on the front door.
Yeah. I think you should have to. Like recording in, you're not
recording
in a public
in progress.
Yeah, you're not in a public space anymore,
Yeah.
Like obviously when you're out in public, I think that's one of the things with like those Ring cameras and whatever, people get away with like filming people and posting it on the internet. It's like you're allowed to film people who are in public doing things, even if they're being embarrassing. But like private?
Yeah.
That feels rude.
It is rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that made me feel better.
Good. And now, if we get any mean emails, they'll be about me.
Thank God. Things are only looking up.
See? It's amazing. See how quickly things turn around, people. Well, on that note, should we get started?
1,000%.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So today, I'm going to be talking about the Tanganyika laughter epidemic.
Okay.
Yeah. So my sources were an Atlas Obscura article by Tao Holmes, Sick History by Hazel Blackthorne, Real Clear Science by Ross Pomeroy, and the Central African Journal of Medicine, and Wikipedia.
Okay. I better be laughing.
Oh, unfortunately, no.
No. Okay.
No.
Well, you this is taking a turn.
Listen, you had the dancing epidemic. You know how it seems all fun and games for a minute, but
it
it's
does.
not.
You're right.
All right, so on January 30th, 1962, at a British Catholic boarding school for girls in Tanganyika, which is a East African country,
Okay.
3 students start to have what seems like the giggles. You know that feeling, you're trying to be quiet maybe, and that's just making it harder to stop laughing. But 3 of these girls in class start laughing and laughing and laughing. And at first, it's a little silly, but as 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes go by and they physically cannot stop laughing, it takes a turn.
How did they even get away with laughing for 20 full minutes?
Oh, they laugh for longer than that.
Oh my gosh.
Slowly and surely, more and more young girls in this school, it's like a high school, so they're like 12 to 18, start to laugh and can't stop laughing. So there are about 160 students in this school, and by the end of this, 95 students became affected with laughter. No teachers were affected. There were only 5 teachers there. 2 of them were British and 3 of them were African, I believe. But 95 of the students were affected. Some of the girls calmed down after just a few hours, but most were laughing for days on end. The average laughing fit lasting about 7 days, and the longest lasting 16 days of laughing.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Now my wonder is, I'm sure you're going to get there, but I'm curious as if is it like they're laughing because that laugh when you're like being tickled or something and you can't stop laughing?
Yeah.
Or is it like the kind of laugh when you are high and you can't stop and you get the giggles?
I would say it's more tickle laugh
Okay.
than high.
Okay. Because those are different.
Yes, very different. So this laughter is happening to different kids, and eventually on March 18th, they decide that they have to temporarily shut down the school and decide to suspend classes until May 21st.
Whoa.
So almost 2 months they shut down the school.
Were the teachers like, guys, you're like, you need to stop, you're pissing us off?
Yeah, they literally called in like doctors and stuff.
Wow. So
Yeah.
they took it seriously.
Yeah, I mean, girls were laughing for 16 days straight.
That's so wild.
Yeah. So when the school reopens, another 52 students become affected. And by the end of June, so less than a month later, the school suspends classes again, on a basically like, okay, we're done for the year.
Wow.
Like summer starts now. Go home. Because it's a boarding school, right? So like, go home. The kids are laughing so hard, but they're obviously crying, and laughing this much is extremely physically taxing. So they had severe pains in their throats and chests and parts of their body. Kids were literally screaming out in pain through their laughter, but could not stop. That's what I mean. It's not like,
holy.
It's like that laughing, like where you're crying, like, why can't I stop? Why can't I stop? Yeah, like screaming, crying in pain, but cannot stop laughing. So they did bring in 2 physicians who were brought to the school to investigate the girls, to take blood samples, all sorts of things, try and figure out what's happening, right? Because there are neurological disorders and parts of the brain that can be affected that cause laughter. Like that's actually like a symptom of like certain types of like strokes and brain tumors, right? If they like push on a certain type of the part of the brain where like you can't stop laughing, or like other parts of the brain, like you can only sing and talk, like stuff like that, right? Like these are like can be symptoms of neurological disorders. So they were thinking maybe there was some sort of like bug going around that was affecting the brain, or some sort of like contaminant happening here.
Yeah, because at this point it's a lot of girls.
It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's 90 over almost 100 girls. Yeah. And so they bring in, their names are A.M. Rankin and P.J. Phillip. They come and they describe it in their medical findings as this, quote, "The onset is sudden, with attacks of laughing and crying lasting for a few minutes up to a few hours, followed by a respite and then a recurrence of the laughter. The attack is accompanied by restlessness and on occasions violence.
Oh.
When restraint is attempted. The patient may say the things that are moving around in their head, or that she fears that someone is running after her."
Running after her?
Yeah. So this laughter was not joyous in any way. It was actually like accompanied by like a great fear of like dread, anxiety, and depression.
Wow.
Yeah. And
were they able to speak?
Like, yes. So it wasn't like constant like laughter. It was like they said, like they would laugh for hours and hours and hours, and then like have like 20 minutes where they would like chill out, and then it would start up again. You know, like when you can't stop hiccuping?
Yes.
That's what I imagine it's like, where you're like hiccuping, and then you're like, oh my God, I think I got rid of them. And you don't hiccup for like 10 minutes. You're like, holy shit. And then you start hiccuping again. You're like, oh my God, no. And then you're hiccuping.
And then you're starting to panic because the hiccups won't stop.
I had the hiccups once for 3 days and it was so painful. My back was so sore. There's people who have ended their lives because they had hiccups for like 20 years.
Yeah, I remember reading about that.
Yeah. So it's like, that's what I imagine it like where it's something like you literally physically can't control it.
Yeah.
And you're like, why can't I just stop it? Like it's my body.
And there's like, I don't know, there's just nothing worse than, I mean, the hiccup thing is probably the worst. Like when you're just like, oh my God, why won't it go away?
Yeah,
why won't it stop?
Yeah. I mean, even when you just have like a lingering cough
and
you're like, I'm not sick anymore. Why am I still coughing?
Sneezing, any of those
attacks,
things.
anything. Yeah. You just feel so out of control of your own body. So the only physical abnormality that the doctors found when examining these girls were dilated pupils.
Okay.
Yeah. So back to when the first closure of the school happened, they actually sent some of the girls home to their village, which was about 55 miles away from the school. And when they got there, they started a whole new outbreak.
At a different school?
No, at their homes.
Oh, at their homes.
So now they're in their home village, which is 55 miles away.
Got it.
So like an hour away. And in the village of Bukoba, there were a handful of girls from the school. And between April and May of that year, 217 villagers became affected with the laughing illness.
I need to know what the fuck is going on
Yeah,
here.
and it was mostly teenagers and like young adults.
Okay.
And it was mostly women, but not all women.
So there were some men.
There were some men, yes. And because of this, it began to spread even more. So this school was not the only one that was affected. There was a school called the Ramashane Girls Middle School, and they started laughing too. They had a girl who had been at home in her village. Her older sister came home. Her family got affected. She goes off to school. She starts a whole new infection, and 48 separate girls become afflicted at this other middle school.
So this is fucking contagious.
Yes. And some of the direct family members of these other girls also fell ill with the laughter.
Wow.
Yeah. Just a few days after that, an all-boys school had an outbreak of laughter and was forced to also close.
And this is all like within the same area.
So this is within 100, basically like 100-mile radius. But yes, and all in the same general vicinity and same like cultural place, basically. So like I said, it wasn't just women. It was mostly women and girls, but there was a boys' school that had to shut down as well because they were afflicted as well. So all in all, over 1,000 people were affected in the area. 14 schools were shut down. Multiple workplaces had to be shut down because adults couldn't stop laughing. 3 separate villages were affected, and the outbreak lasted a total of about 18 months.
18 months. Holy fuck.
Yeah. So that's quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, tons of people all around the area had a bunch of different theories and ideas of what could have been going on. At first, people were thinking this has to be like some sort of prank that the girls started to play on, to get out of schoolwork.
I would assume, but once all these other people that they're coming in contact with are getting it, there's just no way.
And like some of them were adults, like their immediate family and stuff. So some people thought it must be some sort of infection. Maybe it was like a brain infection. Maybe there was some sort of poisoning that was going on, like something in the food or water supply that was affecting these people. There are all sorts of ideas for what this laughing illness could be. But the 2 doctors that I mentioned before, they came to the conclusion after doing blood tests, nothing. They were doing bacteria panels, nothing. They were doing brain scans and stuff, nothing. There's nothing wrong with these people. And so the conclusion was that it must be mass hysteria.
How did I just guess that you were going to say mass hysteria? It's always mass hysteria.
This one actually kind of makes sense. So I'm going to break it down to you as to why.
Okay, please.
So first, from Purdue University, his name is Christian Hempelman. He researched this because he heard it for the first time when he was like in school, and he thought it might be like some sort of urban legend, but he actually ends up diving in and researching it. And he is like an expert on mass hysteria, or as he said, we call it now, mass psychogenic illness.
Okay.
So his quote is, "It's psychogenic, meaning that it's all in the minds of the people who showed the symptoms. It's not caused by an element in the environment like food poisoning or a toxin. There's an underlying shared stress factor in that population. It's an easy way for them to express that something is wrong." So, like I said, this makes a lot more sense when you dig into what was going on in Africa during this time. So, what could have caused so much stress for these young women? Well, by golly, you guessed it. Colonialism. Tanganyika had just achieved independence, and obviously the lead up to that and the after effects of that were extremely stressful on their population. The country now doesn't exist, actually. It was reunited with Zanzibar and created what we now today know as Tanzania.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, if you haven't heard of this country, don't feel bad. It doesn't exist anymore. It is now Tanzania. So European imperialism crippled much of Africa beginning before even the transatlantic slave trade, which is like one of the largest atrocities, right, of our existence as humans. And it continued on as countries were used for their resources and people were abused by these colonizers that were coming in. Basically, they had like whole meetings and councils. I'm not going to go into the history of it because there's so much, and a lot of it has to do with World War I and World War II and Germany and Italy, and you know, the expansion of just all sorts of fucked up shit. But at one point, over 90% of the African continent was controlled by an invading country or an invading like king. Because there were points where it wasn't even like, oh, Denmark colonized or now owns this. It's like, oh, the king of Denmark specifically owns this country or owns this land that we're going to rename East German West Africa, like, right? And they're just like totally erasing like the cultures and stealing all of the resources, because as we know, Africa is an extremely resource dense continent.
Yeah.
And so basically they were forcing these people into working for slave wages and then benefiting off of the extraction of all of the natural resources of Africa. So after the independence of this country was achieved, a lot of the students at the time actually reported an increase in anxiety and pressure in school and in home life to perform better than they ever did before.
Okay.
Because now there's this added pressure of like, we are this independent country that's trying to get back the control of our lives. So if we don't succeed, it's all on us. Like, we fought for this to be independent. So now if we fail, what do we look like? Like, we needed them. Like, we needed these colonizers to take care of us and stuff.
Mm-hmm. But, okay. I'm curious as to if that's the case, why would young girls be feeling that way?
Because they're in school. They feel added pressure to get educated and to be smart and to be the future generation for what their parents fought for, which is their independence.
Okay.
And clearly the colonization didn't end, because all these schools that we're talking about are British owned and operated by the church. You know what I mean? So even then, there, you know, yes, there are African teachers at these schools and stuff, but like at the end of the day, it's like they're called mission schools. You know what I mean? And to make it even more clear that this unrest in that area was causing extreme mental distress to the native people in these newly released, newly independent nations. This was not the only event described as an MPI around this time in this exact area. So right over the border is Uganda.
Okay.
And in the East African Medical Journal, they actually reported that in July and November of 1963, in Uganda, there were 2 mass running events where people couldn't stop running, moving. They were agitated. They had increased talkativeness. They became violent, anorexic, exhausted, depressed, and were experiencing agitation and chest pain. And these both happened literally like right over the border. But there was absolutely no crossover between these events, between these completely different cultural communities. So they had like their own very isolated events.
Wow.
Yeah. The way that Hempelman describes it is, he said, it has to express itself bodily. That gives that person a way to say, see, I am suffering. Something is going on. I am not just depressed or withdrawn. So basically he's saying it is like literally when you try to bottle up the anxiety, the fear, the, you know, all of these things that we just try to pretend aren't happening, like it's going to escape your body in one way or another. And so sometimes I would guess it's almost kind of like, you know, when you see in TV shows, like somebody starts screaming because they're so frustrated and then everybody starts screaming because it's like, well, you're letting it out. I'm going to let it out too.
Yeah.
And so it's literally just these people's subconscious, like letting out the extreme anxiety and tension that's been held in their country and probably generationally absolutely generationally at this point. They've been holding on to this tension. And we know generational trauma is something that gets passed down and passed down and passed down.
It's just like so crazy because you hear these stories, I feel like, and you're like, that's so weird. Like, obviously these people are just, you know, pulling our legs or whatever, because how could this be possible, right?
Yes.
But like bodies are so weird. The brain is so weird.
And we don't understand nearly as much as we like to think that we do, especially about the brain.
Like how often do we experience weird shit going on with our bodies or whatever? And we're like, what is going on? It's like, oh, we don't know. Because it's just like our bodies just do weird shit and our brain just does weird shit.
Literally, yeah. And it's, I mean, it's like, there's also like just horrors and things that people shouldn't have to experience, right?
Yeah.
Like your own brain cannot comprehend it. So of course it's going to react in ways that are unusual and not easy to understand.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you were put through something for generations that is unusual and not easy to understand and not correct. And your body has to expel that tension like eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so, it's hard for me. I mean, I'm sure it would be hard for anyone that has never experienced it, but it's hard to hear being like, okay, like you hear one person laugh and then you start to laugh and then like you don't stop laughing. But it's also, I don't know, it's just like because our bodies are so weird and just do things, like it's not something that I'm like, I don't think is possible.
Yeah.
It's just so, I don't know, it's just so crazy.
I don't know. It makes me think of like, and I feel like most people I know have experienced this or can understand it, where nothing even happens and you just start crying and you can't stop crying and you're just sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. And it's like, you don't even really know why you're crying, but you can't stop. And when you try to stop, you just cry harder.
Yep.
Like that, I feel like it's just this other weird version of like that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to release.
Yeah, like it's
somehow
something's in there, and your body knows better than you even sometimes what you need. Yeah. So to end this, I wanted to quote Benjamin H. Kagwa, who studied this event, and he said, quote, "We must not, however, think for one moment that this is peculiar just to Africans. There is so much historical evidence to prove that emotional upheavals associated with hysteria occur whenever people's cultural roots and beliefs become suddenly shattered." And obviously we see a ton of that today in things that are happening, like in Palestine, for example, still in lots of parts of Africa, like the Congo. And, we saw the uprising in South Africa against the apartheid, like things that you can't even understand, like are happening. And so your body just reacts sometimes in a way that you can't understand. Yeah. So that is the Tanganyika laughter event or laughter epidemic. They just called it the laughing illness.
Wait, so how did it stop?
They just stopped after about 18 months. It just kind of died off and ended.
And no one like died or anything, right?
Nobody died. No. There were people who were like in physical distress because they like weren't able to eat very much or weren't able to sleep. But like I said, the longest laughing fit lasted 16 days. So after that, they were able to recover.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, because like the laughter one obviously sounds horrible and painful, because if you laugh for too long, like it hurts your chest and stuff and hurts your stomach. And also they say laughing burns the most calories.
Yes.
So if these people are laughing and they're not eating.
Well, I'm thinking, like there's been times where I've been like laughing so much and the next day, like my body is sore.
Yeah.
Like
I've laughed so hard that my abs are sore the next day.
Yeah. So I'm like, I can't even imagine laughing for that long, how hoarse your voice must be, how sore your body must be. And like, it's probably hard to keep food down. Cause I've definitely also laughed so hard I've gagged myself.
Yeah.
Like where I'm like just laughing, same thing when you cough too hard or whatever. And you're like, your throat is like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So there was all this weird medical stuff. Like luckily nobody died, but it just kind of ended.
But I can imagine that the running one, like in Uganda,
that one seems really scary. Also,
to me, I would think that people could definitely die from that one.
Yeah,
you can't stop running. Like what?
Yeah, and anorexia. So like the inability to eat or mentally not being able to eat was a big symptom in that one as well. Yeah, that was harder to find one about. It was mostly only referenced as like a footnote to this one. If I had more time, maybe I could find another good source for that one. But
I'm just glad that pretty much immediately they took it seriously, because I feel like so often, like when we hear these stories, like I covered the dancing plague on Patreon, and I think we've covered a couple other
mass hysteria events,
like the screaming girls of Malaysia.
Yeah.
And people are kind of like, oh, mass hysteria. Like they kind of just brush it off as like not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they actually were able to take this seriously.
Especially these being African people in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, I mean, I guess, I don't know, there could have been a lot of racist and horrible reporting about it back then. But a lot of the doctors who like were a part of the research and still do like research into these things, like I said, that's why I wanted to end it with that particular quote about being like, this isn't like just an African tribe thing. This could happen to any of us. And it's literally because their culture and their roots were suddenly shattered, are the exact quote. And it's like, yeah, you can't really blame people or be like, that's so weird. Like when you caused it, you know what I mean? Like Western imperialism is what caused this distress on these people.
And it, once again, it like blows my mind what our bodies and brains will do
without our permission.
In when you're put in a stressful or, you know, anxiety inducing situation.
Absolutely.
Like it really, really is crazy and blows my mind. And it makes me scared to even think about.
Oh no, totally. Yeah.
I don't like science. Like I really don't.
You're like, it's none of my fucking business.
I try to like avoid it at all costs, really, for the most part. But when it comes to that kind of stuff, like the things our bodies and brains are capable of, I actually am very intrigued.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting to learn about it.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Because now I'm going to be thinking about this all day.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. So it's my turn now.
Woohoo.
So on our recent Things Are Getting Weird episode that we mentioned earlier.
Oh, yes.
So go back and listen to that. We talked about the weird world. Why is it saying
the weird world?
Why is it saying the word weird so hard?
I know it's hard because it is our new show name.
The weird world.
The weird world, princess.
We talked about the weird world of alligators and crocodiles and just how freaky and scary they are, right?
I'm so scared of them. They're my biggest fear.
Yeah, it's Cassidy's arch nemesis is a crocodile, as we learned. And while we were kind of, you know, while I was looking them up, it kind of led me to find this other type of reptile creature.
Oh, okay.
That I will bring to you today.
Lay it on me.
So we're going to talk about the lizard man of Scape or Swamp.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Seen him on a few cryptid calendars.
Oh, he's cute. My sources for this were City of Bishopsville, sc.com by G. Wetzel, the Cryptids fandom wiki, obviously. SwampApeReview.com by Liesl Hamilton, basementofthebazaar.com by David Alba, NorthAmericanCryptids.com, and Wikipedia.
Go donate.
Always. So our story starts out in the fall of 1987 in Lee County, South Carolina, Bishopsville, when a man named George Holloman Jr. was out riding his bike near Scape or Swamp. And the swamp kind of goes from like Lee County into Bishopsville. So George was riding towards Bishopsville.
Okay.
And the swamp is like, I was looking at a map. It's fairly long.
Okay.
So he's riding his bike, blah, 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 and he pulls to the side to stop for a quick cigarette break. And that's when he sees a 7 to 8 foot tall reptile-looking humanoid figure staring at him.
I don't like that at all.
No.
I don't want to be involved in that one bit.
I mean, you don't like normal alligators and crocodiles? Can you imagine a humanoid one?
No.
He said the creature's eyes were glowing red, and the two just stared at each other for like a hot minute. But once a car started to drive by them, the creature jumped back into the swamp, and George put out his cigarette, got back on his bicycle, and got the fuck out of there.
Honestly, impressive he kept his composure that long even.
Literally. I probably would have also jumped into the swamp.
Why? So we can get you?
Because I wouldn't have known what else to do.
Wow, that's definitely the wrong thing to do.
I know. Well, yeah.
I would say don't do that.
I'm not a logical woman, Cassidy.
Sorry, but I keep forgetting.
But I don't believe George actually told anyone about this encounter at the time. And he like way later on
Okay.
it comes into play, but he kept this to himself.
Okay.
He was just like, saw something fucking weird.
If I don't talk about it, it's like it didn't happen.
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
But then a few months later, on June 29th at 2 o'clock in the morning, a 17-year-old boy named Christopher Davis was on his way home from his night shift at McDonald's. So he's driving in the very late or early morning hours, depending on if you are me or Cassidy. That's how you can kind of decipher which
if you're
one that
still
is.
up or you're just woken up.
Yeah. But the car he was driving was a 1976 Toyota Celica, and his tire pops.
Oh.
At 2 o'clock in the fucking morning
no.
on a just pitch black nighttime road in rural South Carolina.
That reminds me when my tire popped on, I was on the 10 in between California and Arizona.
No. At night?
At night.
Oh.
And
Did
I
you
was
have
like
AAA?
so convinced. No, I had to change my tire on the side of the road. I was so convinced that a truck driver was just not going to see me and just run right into me and murder me.
Well, doesn't that happen a lot to people?
Not a lot, but enough. Yeah.
So Christopher, he is able to pull his car over to the side, and he's on Brownton Road, and he's on the edge of Scape or swamp.
Okay.
Which, let me just tell you something right now. Chances are you won't catch me walking near a swamp when the sun is up. I'm not going to be caught dead near a swamp at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Hell no.
I'm sorry. You guys know what comes out of swamps.
I love the show Naked and Afraid. And the one episode I've ever watched where I was like actually afraid, like I was like, if I wound up there, I think I would tap out like immediately. They like dropped them in a swamp.
Hell no.
Yeah. And I was like, absolutely not. They're water up to their knees. They were like trying to figure out how to like hang stuff so they could not have to sleep. And I was like, oh, no.
But Christopher, you know, he's lived in this area his whole life. He's used to this. So he gets out of his car and he starts changing his tire. And just as he finishes up, he starts to hear a rustling through some of the trees that separate the road and the swamp. And when he looks up, he sees a ginormous creature emerging from the darkness. Christopher said it was green, wet-like, and about 7 feet tall.
Wet-like.
That shit was wet.
Like.
You know it came out of the swamp.
It was swampy.
It was dripping.
Non-derogatory.
So thank God he was pretty much already done with the tire changing, because he immediately, after like fully viewing this giant lizard creature, he throws his tools in the car, jumps in, and slams his foot on the gas as hard as he can.
Hell yeah, as he should.
So his car begins to move, but not quite fast enough, because now he can see the creature chasing him in his rearview mirror.
Oh, no.
The creature catches up to him, jumps on top of the car, which dents the roof, and this causes Chris to jerk the steering wheel. So now he's swerving like left to right on the road, like pretty drastically.
Yeah.
The creature then is like thrown to the side. So it kind of like slides off the back of the car as it claws its way down. So its claws are literally scraping down the side of the car. And it eventually takes off or like rips part of the side mirror before falling to the ground and running off into the night.
Oh my goodness. And it seemed scared of cars earlier in the story.
Didn't it? Well, that was a year before.
Yeah.
Maybe he got a little...
Gotten bold.
Yeah. Maybe he was like, I know what these fuckers are. I'm not afraid of you. So Chris is able to just continue to drive, and he just drives as fast as he can without looking back. When he gets home, he's obviously freaking the fuck out. He's 17 years old, and he's like, what did I just experience?
Yeah, and my car's fucked.
And his car's fucked up.
And I've got to fix this on a McDonald's salary.
Real. Yeah.
Well, back then.
I was going to say nowadays,
I was gonna say
a
back then
McDonald's salary is great.
No, I was going to say back then.
It was good back then?
I mean, before inflation, yeah. They made more back then than they do now, like when you factor in inflation.
That's true. Because I was going to say, sometimes I see on the side, like, now hiring $25 an hour. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, but $25 an hour doesn't get you shit.
Not here. That's for sure.
Your car they would fix your car for $45 and a fucking cigarette back then.
True. So Christopher's parents, they're trying to console him. And I don't know if they like 100% believed him or not, but his dad was like, hey, let's maybe keep this to ourselves for a bit. Let's not tell anyone, because there was a lot of factors here. They were obviously feared of being like ridiculed throughout the town because that's a crazy story and that could be potentially embarrassing. And also they were Black and this is the 1980s. Yeah. A Southern town. So they were like, let's not
try to bring more attention.
Yeah, let's not deal with this,
to.
you know? Yeah. But then an article gets released in the local paper, like literally like a week later. And it's about this couple that found claw marks down the side and bite marks on their fender of their 1985 Ford LTD. And that's when Christopher's dad was like, okay, I think you can go to the police now. Yeah. And finally, like,
you're not the first one to bring it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Christopher tells the police, I looked back and saw something running across the field towards me. It was about 25 yards away, and I saw red glowing eyes. I ran into the car, and as I locked it, the thing grabbed the door handle. I could see him from the neck down. The 3 big fingers, long black nails, green rough skin. It was strong and angry. I looked in my mirror and saw a blur of green running. I could see his toes, and then he jumped on the roof of my car. I thought I heard a faint growl, and then I could see his fingers through the front windshield. When they curled around the roof, I sped up and swerved to shake the creature off.
Know what I'm picturing? I'm picturing like a really big version of that lizard thing from Rescuers Down Under.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
You know how it would like run up on its hind legs? Uh-huh. Yeah, the one. That's what I'm picturing, like a big swampy version of that.
Do lizards run on their hind legs?
Some do.
Do alligators?
No.
They never do?
Their legs are this long. What are you talking about?
That's true. I was just thinking maybe.
Their legs are this long and they weigh like 1 billion pounds.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah. So keep talking. I'm going to look up a picture of that thing from the Rescuer Down Under.
So Christopher, clearly he got like a really good look at this creature. He was able to describe it in pretty fucking good detail. And he was also able to show the police physical evidence of his damaged car. Like he's like
tell me that isn't it?
Oh my God, that face.
Right?
So this creature looks, and I'm sure because this is all is this Disney?
Yes.
Okay, because that creature also looks like the snake from Jungle Book. And also the eels from The Little Mermaid.
Oh, totally. Like, look at it
like
here.
That same face.
That looks like the eels.
Yeah, that's the same fucking face.
Yeah, but that's what I'm picturing when you're talking about this thing.
Well, that's creepy.
Right? He was trying to eat everybody's eggs.
He was trying to eat the eggs. Oh my God.
God, I need to watch that movie again.
We need to have a movie night.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so like I was saying, Christopher clearly got like a pretty fucking good look because he was able to detail like exactly what he saw, the fingers, the color, everything. And also he had the physical evidence on his car to show the police. He's like, look at the dents in my car. Look at this claw marks. Like, this is crazy. So he also drew a sketch of the creature, although after he had such a detailed description of what he saw, he clearly was not much of an artist because it didn't really have much detail to the photo, in my opinion.
I was gonna say, listen, I get it.
But this is the photo he drew.
Okay.
Doesn't really look like a lizard.
It's got a cone head kind of situation going on.
It does have the 3 fingers though.
Well, the 3 fingers, the 3 fingers seem to be the big thing that he remembers.
Yeah.
So,
but either way, the police did actually seem to take his claim seriously, which kind of like your story, how they took things seriously, kind of surprising. But, you know, people in the town, they started to go absolutely crazy after hearing this story. The media was so enthralled in this. They were so excited. They were like, we need to cover this. We need to know everything that's going on. And the police actually gave Christopher 2 lie detector tests because so many people were going insane. And also, I'm assuming he probably needed like proof that he wasn't lying for maybe car insurance purposes. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
But he passed both of the tests and his results were shared with the public. So after this, even more people are like, holy shit, he's not lying.
Yeah, it's real. It's real.
Which obviously, you know, we've talked about it before. lie detector tests are kind of bullshit. And if you believe something happened, chances are you're going to pass a lie detector test.
Yeah, because you don't think you're lying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like whether or not he actually saw a lizard man, but it did prove, I guess, that he wasn't, pulling a prank. So as the months went on, or the weeks went on, I should say, the local police department, they received multiple reports of people claiming that a lizard man had also attacked their cars with dents, scratch, and claw marks.
This would have been the best time to have like some like horrible thing happen to your car and be like, it was a lizard man.
So this is what I was literally wrote down next. In my opinion, I don't actually believe that most of these people
absolutely
saw
not.
a lizard man. I think that they heard this story. They heard that maybe Christopher, his car insurance took care of it because of everything. And they were like, wait a second, I have that one dent in my my left back door.
Yeah.
Let me just put a few extra scratches on there.
Oh, I scratched it so bad going through the gate last week. It was the lizard man.
It was the freaking lizard man. So
listen, I support you. I say scam the insurance companies.
100%.
They're scamming you. You scam them right back, baby.
Oh, no, I definitely do not blame these people.
Yeah, no.
Whatsoever.
I'm pro whatever you guys are up to over there.
Yeah. So a lot of people were coming out being like, the lizard man hurt my car too. Like, someone help me.
Me too. Wow, why did the lizard man key cheater into the side of your car with his nails? Yeah, he tried to kill me and I cheated death, and I guess he found me later. It has nothing to do with the pregnant unwed nurse at the nursing school.
They're like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Crazy. But eventually the number of reports that were coming in were so freaking high that the police were basically forced to like actually go and investigate the lizard man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 2 weeks after the initial sighting from Christopher, the sheriff's department went to like the swampy area where the encounter took place, and they actually found a bunch of these really large 3-toed footprints that were like spread out all around the mud throughout the swamp.
Case closed.
I mean, three toes? Who has 3 toes?
This guy.
The lizard man.
The lizard man.
You know? So the police actually took plaster casts of these footprints.
Mm-hmm. Bigfoot style.
Yeah, and I have a picture of them. Just so you know it's real.
We need to get our expert on the phone here for this one. We need to get Steven on the phone.
So that's the footprint.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That looks exactly like 3 hot dogs and a hamburger bun.
It really does. I was gonna say those.
I was really on their side, but that looks exactly like someone put a hamburger, an open hamburger bun, and 3 hot dogs.
Those are long toes. Why are they so long?
And there's such a weird hamburger shape or hot dog shape.
They are. But according to the spokesperson for the South Carolina Marine Resources Department, the tracks could not be matched to any footprint of any recorded animal ever.
Yeah,
because they're hot dogs.
Because that's a hot dog. Sorry, as a not exactly thin woman, I know a hot dog when I see one.
A hot dog world champion eater.
Yeah,
which.
Listen, as a hot dog enthusiast, we have one right here next to me.
You guys know I love a fucking hot dog, okay? I like
bun
to
in, bun out. She doesn't care.
Raw dog those hot dogs.
She will,
those are hot dogs, so
that's why. So crazy. This doesn't match any of our records. Yeah, that's a hot dog. For sure.
Someone threw 3 hot dogs and a hamburger bun in the mud.
And an open hamburger bun. All I see is a ruined Memorial Day weekend.
It was the summer.
Yeah.
And that's when people would be grilling.
You'd be grilling, yeah. Oh my God, I need someone with a backyard to have a barbecue soon, or else I'm gonna lose it.
So even though the police seem to kind of hit a dead end now with identifying exactly what this creature was, because they could not identify the hamburger and hot dog footprints, Christopher kind of became like a local celebrity.
Okay.
So originally his parents, especially his dad, were like, hey, don't talk about this.
Yeah, keep it on the low.
We're going to get ridiculed. Everyone's going to make fun of us. Like, no one's going to believe us. But
the opposite happened.
Literally the
Everybody
opposite.
believes you. You're famous.
Yes.
Every girl wants your number.
Yes, literally.
Hey, kid, let me pay for that soda pop you just tried to get at the store.
No, actually, though, that is exactly what happened. Like, the media exploded with trying to get him like to do interviews on their shows and stuff. I think even Good Morning America at one point
was
like, Christopher, we need to talk to you about the lizard man.
I need $500, Good Morning America, to fix my car.
People in the town of Bishopsville were just freaking out. Everyone wanted a piece of him. He was going out to like events around town signing his sketch.
He's a promoter. He's doing great.
Yeah. So I support him. Doing a lot here.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, a radio station in Columbia, which was like an hour north of the town, offered a $1 million reward to anyone who could capture the lizard man.
That's a great way to get a redneck to kill their like brother-in-law and dress him in a lizard costume.
No, absolutely. Because literally right after that, people were literally going hunting for the lizard man, which probably not the best. But clearly no one was ever able to get that millie because no one was ever able to capture the lizard man.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, you do. So then on August 5th, a man named Kenneth Orr, who was an airman stationed at Shaw Air Force Base, he goes to the police and he's like, hey, I came face to face with the lizard man on Highway 15 and I shot him and I wounded him. And he even gave the police scales and a vial of blood that he collected as evidence that he wounded the lizard man.
How are you getting a vial of blood?
Well, I don't know whose blood was in that vial.
I know he's not a phlebotomist, I can tell you that much.
Because let me tell you what.
What?
He recanted his statement.
Oh.
And this was only 2 days later. And he said that he made the whole story up to keep the lizard man phenomena alive in the community.
God, we really need this right now.
So I don't know whose blood he gave to the police.
It might not be the lizard man we want, but it's the lizard man we deserve.
The lizard man we got. He was later charged with a misdemeanor offense of filing a fake police report.
Damn.
So
what an embarrassing thing to get in trouble for. So I'm looking at your resume here. I see that you have a criminal record. Would you like to explain that? Well, you see.
It
all started with this vial of blood I found, and I thought, ding, 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 lizard man phenomena.
Exactly.
Jeez Louise.
He said, I know just what to do with this vial of blood.
I was rummaging around in a medical waste area that I shouldn't have been, probably. Found a very nice looking vial of blood.
It looked a little reptilian.
I was like, this is going to sell it for sure.
So after the summer of 1988, the lizard man sightings and reports kind of like came to a halt, like it just ended. But then in 2004, a man reports finding his bumper torn off his car and deep scratch marks all down the side of his doors.
He's back.
He's back. Then that same year, another guy saw that the shed in his backyard was broken into, and the food from the freezer was like sprawled all around the outside and like torn into shreds. And then on top of that, he also found three large three-toed footprints, or hot dog and hamburger bun footprints in the area. And of course, there's like a few more sightings and encounters that would pop up here and there throughout the years. Another report in the 2000s came from a woman who claimed she woke up one morning, opened her front door to check on her cats like she always did, because I guess they had like a bunch of cats that lived outside that they fed. And she sees all the blankets and the little cat beds all torn up and thrown all over the driveway. And she's like, that's really weird. Like, what creature was trying to get at my cats last night?
Yeah.
And as she's looking at them, she hears her husband calling, and he's like, honey, get on your robe and come out here. She goes over to him, and they look at the car. Claw marks, dents all over the car, bite marks.
This thing's got a real hankering for some car.
Well, you also hate cars and driving. So.
I do. I went to the DMV this week, and let me tell you, nothing will convince you more that driving should be way more illegal than it is and way harder to get a driver's license than watching people drive out of the DMV parking lot.
That's real. Yeah.
It was horrifying. I watched a man try to park in, there's 3 empty spaces. He's trying to park in the middle one. 20 minutes of pulling in, pulling out, pulling in, pulling out. The oldest person you've ever seen, you're thinking, that can't even be someone who's alive anymore. He is. Walks in, renews his license. Renews his license, comes back out, gets back in this giant SUV that he's driving for some reason, and then immediately goes the wrong way on a one-way street. And I was like, what are we doing here as a society?
Not to like continue on the DMV talk, but I don't understand how we can even give like permits to people when they just have to take a written test. That has nothing to do with me knowing how to drive a car.
Yeah.
Like a written test is not a physical driving test.
Well, because they're hoping that your parent is going to like take you somewhere secluded, but it's like, where is there secluded?
Not here. Not in the city.
No. But yeah, no, I watched so many. Girl, I was sitting there, shock and horror on my face. You would not believe the things that I saw in that parking lot.
I do believe it, actually. So there's really not like any legit stories of encounters of people having actually seen the lizard man himself, like in the flesh.
Okay.
Aside from Christopher, just really the aftermath of like what they experienced.
Well, and the smoking man.
Oh, and the smoking man. Those were the first 2. And
yeah.
like really the only ones that like really, really saw him, right? But then in 2015, a local woman named Sarah reports that she was walking out of church one Sunday morning, which was like about a mile or so from Scape or Swamp, and she saw the lizard man running along the tree line.
Good for her.
So she grabs her phone and she takes a picture.
Oh, I gotta see this.
She sends the photo into ABC News 4 and writes, "My hand to God, I am not making this up.
I just stepped out of the church."
And I'm sure you've seen this photo. It's pretty iconic, I would say. But this is the photo that she took.
There he is. You got to turn the brightness up on your computer. What do you do? What are we?
Sorry.
What are we doing here? Yeah, all the way down. There he is. That doesn't look like a screenshot from the 1980s like show.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
like,
I was
what
gonna
the
say,
fuck is that?
Looks like one of the bad guys from Power Rangers.
Literally, like
Yeah.
It looks like the most costumed
hand to God.
Hey, my hand to God.
Mm-hmm.
She's not making this
from
up.
my lips to God's ears.
And honestly, she probably wasn't making it up. Maybe it was a person she didn't know.
I would hope.
But what the fuck is this thing?
He's just out for a jog. He's trying to do his best. He's up in the swamp, just working on his fitness. She's his witness. Ooh-wee.
Wow. So
wow, what a time to be alive.
Literally. I'm sorry. Like, Sarah, I'm sure you meant well, but we all know that is a person in a costume. Let's be real here. But regardless, the legend lives on in Bishopsville and the surrounding area where Scape or Swamp is.
Mm-hmm.
The whole craze was kind of referred to as lizard mania.
Beautiful.
Because people were like, the lizard, he's here. But really, they just wanted their cars fixed.
Yeah.
And of course, as most small towns tend to do, they lean into this legend with the lizard man. They have him on t-shirts. They have him on coffee mugs, signs. They name their restaurants and their stores after the lizard man,
mm-hmm.
which is kind of what you have to do, I feel like.
As they should.
Yeah. And locals even believe that the lizard man will come out mostly during an eclipse. So if you are in the area and there's an eclipse going on, stay inside because that's when the lizard man.
Lunar or solar?
Just to be safe, let's do both.
Just do both.
Yeah,
okay,
you know what?
Fair.
But stay inside because that's really when they tend to come out.
Mm-hmm. Park your cars in the garage that night, honey.
Exactly. Yeah, because that's what they like, cars. So when I heard the story, I love cryptids. I'm a cryptid whore.
Uh-huh.
And I love to just believe all the encounters and people. But I do have to say, and I know you said alligators don't stand on their hind legs, but something in me feels like he just saw, like little Christopher, 17-year-old Christopher, just saw some sort of an alligator or a lizard, perhaps, standing up.
Sounds mean. I would say crocodile.
Maybe a crocodile. Yeah, but then the crocodile would have killed him.
Well, it was trying to.
It was
jumped on top of his truck, allegedly.
But that is what I'm going to be honest. Like, I do believe he saw something like that. Like, I think he saw like an alligator or a crocodile.
I think he saw the lizard man.
Do you?
Because my mind is wide fucking open, baby. It's so open my brains fell out.
Wow. That's surprising to me.
Listen, I just love anything that's silly, stupid, little
No,
dumb
it is
like
silly
that.
and stupid. There was this one guy who like reported that he heard a car stopping on the side of the road, and he like walked outside of his house at 2:00 in the morning, and he believes he saw Christopher and that Christopher saw him, and
They saw each other.
Yeah, through the darkness.
I'm looking at you.
You're looking at him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And through the darkness, he thought that that's what he saw was just him staring at him.
But he was on a porch in a house.
Yeah. So I don't fully know. But
I don't know. Teenagers are stupid, I guess. And they do like to smoke pot.
I'm
and
sorry.
stuff.
If I was 17 years old driving down a street in the darkness at 2:00 in the morning, and my tire pops and I'm outside, I'm thinking that there's something weird going on.
Oh, I used to drive home with all of my windows down, like all the way down, and music blaring, and me just screaming the lyrics because I was too afraid to check my back seat.
Yeah.
But that way I just figured at least if something came at me, the windows would all be open and I could just scoop out.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you think that when it's dark and you're a teenager, even now in my 30s, I think that there's something in my backseat. I think there's something outside. I think there's something going on
every single time.
So I would fully just be on edge. And if I saw any sort of animal, crocodile, some people think it was a bear, human, I would just make things up in my head.
Listen, he saw something and
he did, and we believe him.
And it ripped his fucking door off or whatever.
Yeah.
So
as long as
believe victims.
As long as the insurance companies were like,
as long as the insurance companies were writing those checks, that's all I care about.
That's all we care about. So
100%.
That is the Lizard Man of Scape or Swamp.
Great work
in South Carolina.
Great work. Wonderful storytelling.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
We'll come visit you, Lizard Man.
Yeah, and
at least go to the Lizard Man Cafe or whatever.
100%.
Get a t-shirt.
I want all of the merch.
Oh my gosh, I love guys send us shirts sometimes from stuff like that. That is like one of my favorite things that people mail us.
Dude, that's the kind of shit that I
have that Beer Fest shirt that, oh my God, I'm sorry, I can't remember who sent it to me right now, with Bigfoot on the back. Yes. I love it. I wear it all the time.
I love that t-shirt.
I love that shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys have like a local cryptid that is like your town's mascot, like please, we also have, I want to
hear about it.
Don't I have the statue of Turtle Boy? Right here, yeah.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Someone sent us a sticker of the Turtle Boy statue because that's where they were from.
I've got lots of good stickers.
Yeah, so
most of them from Jackie, XOXO Gossip Ghoul, whom I love.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, I've got this Sasquatch one. Oh, this one's funny. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. That's pretty real. Read books, eat pizza. Yeah, we love stickers and shirts and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so thank you, because we do get them a lot, and I want you guys to know we do appreciate that.
Especially
we wear them. It's basically all I wear, actually.
If you have a local cryptid or a local legend.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Like your small town thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely our favorite.
I want to hear about it. Yeah. You could write us in a listener story even.
You could.
Which is what I'm about to read right now.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
This one is from Lacey.
Hi, Lacey.
And Lacey says, hello. Before I start, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for getting me through my work weeks. I've gone back and listened to old episodes whenever I catch up, and I still love them. Please never change. You can't figure that out, can you?
Do you want me to lose my mind?
Please never change. You are both so hilarious and remind me so much of me and my best friend. Anyway, I've written in before about my paranormal experiences in my childhood home, but I haven't had a ton in the house that I live in now as an adult. However, I have had a few encounters here and there, so I decided to write in my most recent one. About a month or so ago, I was in our office, which is where which is where my clothes are at because I was trying to figure out a Renaissance fair outfit. Ooh. For reference, I live with my partner, dog, and cat. The office is on the main level, and my partner and I's bedroom is upstairs. Anyway, also, I love a Renaissance fair. I want to see your guys' fits.
We should go.
I want to go. I don't drive, so like I'm just at the whims of you.
I'm down.
Like whenever you're like, we should go there, I'm like, okay, just pick me up. I don't do anything.
Okay.
Anyways, her words, not mine. I was in the office by myself pretty late at night, maybe around 1 or 2 a.m. My partner had went to bed with our dog, so they were both upstairs with the door shut. I was in the office trying to figure out what I was going to wear to this Renaissance fair coming up. I was looking at my clothes and browsing on Amazon to come up with ideas, and I'd probably already been in there for about 20 minutes or so, but there was no music playing, no TV on, nothing, just dead silence while I was sitting on the floor looking at fairy corsets online.
Nice.
In this dead silence, I heard in my own voice from the living room / kitchen area. It was at our normal volume, like how you would speak to someone standing next to you. And it said, "What are you doing?" So that was weird. What's even weirder is the manner that it said it in is how I would speak to my cat or dog. I stopped what I was doing and just listened for a little bit longer, but I didn't hear anything else. But the voice was clear as day when it spoke. I walked out to investigate. Everything seemed normal. Wow, you're brave. I would have I would have been like, guess I'm sleeping in here tonight, and locked the door.
I would have had to leave the house completely.
My partner was still upstairs asleep with the dog. My dog was upstairs, but I couldn't see my cat. But still not sure how he could have accomplished that. I didn't respond and just went back to my Amazon search in the office. Growing up, I had a lot of mimic activity in my childhood home. However, I've never heard my own voice mimicked back to me. I think my past experience allowed me to not really be fazed when this did happen to me. I was busy and went back to searching fairy wings and cutesy shit on Amazon. I haven't heard it since, but can definitely write in again if I do, or I can even write in the other handful of encounters that I've had in my current home. My story is nothing crazy, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. You both rock. All the love, Lacey.
Nothing crazy?
Yeah, you heard your own voice.
Lacey?
What do you mean nothing crazy? That's as crazy as it gets.
And you also said you had mimic experiences your whole life. So sounds like you have a mimic.
Also, we always want more stories. Are you kidding?
Yes,
we love them.
Literally.
I don't care if you've written in before and we haven't read it yet. Just keep them coming.
Please.
We're working through a good list here, okay?
We are.
But yeah, no, mimics are like one of the scariest things to me.
No.
That freaks me
They're
out bad.
so scary.
But yeah, we should go to the Renaissance Fair.
I would love to.
I think the one out here just ended, actually.
Isn't that the one that Steven went to?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should go.
We should go. Let's go next year.
Okay. It's settled.
It's settled. Like, once again, Amanda's always like, let's go to this thing. I'm like, I just don't have a car. So.
And I love to drive.
I can't just be like, hey, we're going to this thing. You have to drive and maybe take work off.
100% you can.
No, I know. But like, I'm just saying, like, if you're like, hey, I'm off this day, I'm picking you up. We're going to, like, you're the one who has like work and a car and like stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like a family and stuff.
Things, I guess. I don't know. Who knows?
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. If you have a story you would like to send in, you can do that at dtkpod.com/contact. If you are one of our very dear patrons, you can just send in your listener story via Patreon and we will bump you up the list a little bit further. But either way, we're happy to hear from you. And most importantly, make sure you keep that front door locked.
Make sure you keep your mind open.
And keep drinking the Kool-Aid.